Greetings, fair listeners, and welcome back to another episode of The Tale Collector, celebrating stories and storytelling in all their forms, and the bards and artists who bring them all to life. I'm your host, Erica Adams. My memories of when this show first aired aren't all that vivid, but, somewhat to my chagrin, I remember very clearly my initial thought upon first seeing it. It was something to the effect of, oh, another Ninja Turtles knockoff. Not only was I dead wrong about this, but I feel like I really missed out on something truly unique. Though, looking back, it's entirely possible that the 7-year-old me wouldn't have been able to follow it anyway. Regardless, Toon Disney thankfully gave me another chance, just in time for my high school years when I felt that my understanding and tastes of fiction had matured greatly. Much as I was hooked on the anime shown during the glory days of Cartoon Network's Toonami, this was a very nice change of pace for me during those years, especially considering that it was made by an animation company that, even to this day, is better known for creating both films and TV shows that are cute and funny rather than dark and complex. From Walt Disney Animation, let me bring you Gargoyles, premiering October 24th, 1994, and recommended for viewers 8 and up. In Scotland, 994 AD, Goliath is the leader of a clan of gargoyles that makes its home within a large castle. As is their nature, they sleep as stone statues during the day, but awaken as flesh and blood warriors at night. The gargoyles make it their duty to defend the castle and its resident humans from various invaders, while the humans in their turn protect the gargoyles during their stone hibernation. In spite of this arrangement, tensions between both races run high, as the humans fear and shun the gargoyles for their demonic appearance, while some gargoyles feel insulted by the humans' ingratitude. Things really come to a head, though, when a heinous act of human betrayal leaves most of the clan dead, and Goliath and only 5 other survivors frozen in a permanent stone sleep, only to reawaken in the radically different world of Manhattan, New York in 1994, having been transported and revived by the cunning billionaire David Xanatos, who wishes to use the gargoyles to serve his own ends. With the aid of the tough but compassionate NYPD detective Elisa Mazza, Goliath and the remainder of his clan must battle Xanatos and other villains, both modern and magical, to protect themselves and each other while trying to adjust to the 20th century world they must now live in. While the show technically has no credited creator, the title of co-creator has since unofficially gone to then Disney executive Greg Weisman, who made the original pitch of the show and went on to co-produce it. In its early stages, Gargoyles was much more lighthearted, influenced by comedy in the vein of Disney's Adventures of the Gummy Bears. This is turning into quite the blast from the past, isn't it? In time, however, it became much more serious in tone, its best comparison today still being Batman the Animated Series. On that note, this show realistically, but not too heavy-handedly, addresses one of the greatest issues still plaguing modern society today: racism. One of its most rare and admirable qualities is that it encourages, if not forces us, to take a good long look at ourselves as human beings. In Disney's portrayal, gargoyles are seen as unnatural creatures or monsters. In reality, they are as refined and intelligent as humans, while being animalistic enough to maintain a sort of inherent purity, capable of surviving almost anywhere, and having neither need nor desire for material possessions, or to exploit, enslave, or harm others, especially the weak. This is illustrated brilliantly by the show's exceptional ensemble cast. While gargoyles typically don't have names, Goliath was named by his Scottish charges after the famed, though controversial, biblical figure, his physical strength, intimidating demeanor, and combat skills being the stuff of nightmares to any who would seek to harm him or his protectorate. But unlike his namesake, Goliath the Gargoyle has all the qualities of a great leader and role model: just, patient, open-minded, and always putting the safety of others above his own. Despite the callousness with which humans treat him daily, Goliath nonetheless fulfills his mission of protection with dignity and honor. This presentation is further enhanced by Emmy-winning actor Keith David, who provided Goliath with a deep, authoritative voice, capable of both gentleness and wrath, and more than suiting the nobility of his character. Furthermore, the two recurring villains each represent some of the worst aspects of the heart of any sentient being. Xanatos, not unlike many humans, is a master manipulator, arrogantly treating almost everyone and everything as either a business opportunity or a game in which the winner takes all, and always with a tranquil eye and a suave smile on his face. The other primary villain is Demona, a rogue gargoyle and, tragically, Goliath's former lover. While Goliath believes that not all humans are evil just because gargoyles have been hurt or killed by some, the deeply embittered Demona sees only humans' apparent foolishness, greed, and treachery. Ever devious, frighteningly vengeful, and as cold as she is lovely, she now wants nothing less than complete genocide upon every human on the planet, and she will not hesitate to kill even her own kind should they stand in her way. Acting as a foil for both is Elisa. To make one TMNT analogy, she is to the gargoyles what April is to the turtles. She acts as their guide and link to the modern world, able to access places and information they can't, and offering invaluable companionship in a domain even more dangerous and cruel to their kind than ever. I think it worth noting that Elisa herself is non-Caucasian, having an African-American mother and a Native American father. Though she is naturally confused and fearful of the gargoyles at first, she comes to admire and respect them, not only as close friends, but for the true heroes they are. Goliath's fellow gargoyles are also a joy to watch, each named, by themselves, after a New York landmark, and each with different personalities that still mesh very well. There's Hudson, the group's elder and veteran soldier who guides the others with his wisdom and experience. Brooklyn, a bit sarcastic and rebellious, but quick-witted and always ready for combat. Broadway, an overweight gargoyle whose love for books and old movies is matched only by his love for food. Lexington, the youngest, who is fascinated by technology and loves to tinker with gadgets and machines. And Bronx, a dog-like beast who serves as the group's fiercely loyal pet and companion. Another major and awesome tangential learning highlight of the show is its inclusion of real-world fantasy literature and mythology. The best example? About a third of the second season consists of the story arc known as the Avalon World Tour. Here, Goliath, Elisa, and Bronx travel to the legendary island of Avalon to battle an ancient enemy, after which they are sent to different parts of the globe to right whatever wrongs they find while encountering various mythological figures, creatures, and even gods. Among others, these include Anubis, the Egyptian lord of the dead, Anansi, the African spider trickster, Odin, the warrior king of the Norse gods, as well as various Shakespearean characters such as the ever-famously mischievous fairy trickster, Puck. And of course, the almighty rulers of the fair folk themselves, Lord Oberon and Lady Titania. One thing I should mention to newcomers, with the exception of the first episode, the third and final season of Gargoyles, also known as The Goliath Chronicles, is technically non-canon, as it involved an almost entirely new writing staff, and was consequently considered by fans to be much weaker in quality compared to the first two seasons. However, Weisman did continue the story through a series of comics released after the show's cancellation, which are now available online. They're a bit rare and expensive now, but if you want the true continuation of the story, check those out. Highly, highly recommended. To help sum up, here are some excerpts from the introduction to Clan Building Volume 1 by ElfQuest creator Wendy Pinney. Quote, "To say the least, we human types are complicated. We're able to be both frightened by and, at the same time, drawn to the very thing we fear. Gargoyles went where no cartoon series has gone before, deep into the realm of human meets other. And what is other? Something that's like us, but unlike. Alien, older, primal, not bound by conventional wisdom or law, something magical, powerful, beautiful, and terrifying that makes us yearn for a lost part of ourselves. Humorous and thrilling in the vein of classic Disney, humbling and philosophical regarding the human condition, Gargoyles is a good old-fashioned superhero show with a healthy dose of crime drama and action mixed with sword and sorcery romance and adventure that both kids and adults can really sink their teeth into. Gather around next time for another tale you may have forgotten or have never heard before. Until then, listeners, may inspiration always find you.